When we created our Kerb return, there were some default settings and values that were being applied to the Kerb definition form, and now we're going to have a quick look as to where those values are set. On the Roads tab, we're going to click on the Active Settings button. On the Design Settings tab, you'll notice that we have EB being applied to two different cells: Match Code for Kerbs and Intersection Through Code. I'm just going to move the form to one side. By default, when we created our Kerb return, we were offered one code to apply for the radius. This is where that code is set. And this is traditionally EB within the software. When you create an intersection, we also need one code to be pushed all the way through the intersection, and again, that is traditionally EB. If you create templates that, for example, don't use EB, you may, for example, prefer lip or EOB for edge of bitumen, you need to make sure that you come in and set the same values in this particular form. Otherwise, the software will not be able to correctly intersect your two road strings. Go up to the Kerb Details tab. When we created our Kerb return, we were offered a default Kerb return radius. This is where that default radius is set. We were also offered a default template, which was auto, and again, whenever we create a Kerb return in this particular project, we can choose what template we're offered, and by default that is auto. Because we used auto, the software is simply connecting codes together. It doesn't know what subgrade should be applied underneath the Kerb return. So within the form, we can actually tell it to use a template and apply the subgrade from that particular template when we choose auto. So in this case, we could just say use road 1. Underneath, we've got auto default slopes. If we are using auto for the template, the software needs to know what batter slope should be applied to the back of the Kerb return, and in this case it's 1 and 1 for cut and for fill. Every time we create a Kerb return using auto, it will use these values. You'll notice, however, in the Kerb return form that we're able to override all of these settings on a case-by-case basis. If you're currently in the form, let's click on Cancel to close it down.